Hi, and welcome to Egypt Time here in Origin of Concepts. In this episode, I'll tell you a little about the Seba Star from ancient Egypt. And the Seba Star representing a five-pointed starfish like shape up here. It symbolized the star god in the afterlife, often representing the soul of the deceased or follower of Osiris in the duat, the underworld. That's why on the tombs this star is all over the ceiling, and sometimes on the, it's there, a lot of them. But it's very important because there's basically only one star, and I'll focus on that in this video. And when there's many stars, it is just a symbol of general. But let's see what we can find here. It is commonly believed that the Seba symbol generally represents the stars and the constellations, which I believe is a huge misinterpretation. The Seba star only represents a very special star inside the Milky Way center. So let's take a look at the Milky Way center here. Normally when you observe the star on the wall paintings and other places in the petroglyphs and stuff like that, it just looks like some lines crossed over each other. But in reality, it's a small point or disc with 5 rays, and that's very crucial to understand. So basically, you have to see it like a small disc with 5 rays. And the Seba star, the dot in the middle, is of course representing the golden disc in the Milky Way center here. So that's the dot inside the star here. And then we got the 5 rays, or the 5 points, or what you like to name it. And they represent the 5 aspects of the soul, so to speak, of the deceased, which is, they are named Ren, Ba, Ka, Shod, and Ib. And that's, you can go find out what that is on Google. But that's the 5 critical aspects of the deceased for his existence in the afterlife. That's totally essential. He must, have those 5 aspects. So that's the 5 rays. And the term Seba is associated with gates and doorways. And of course they are, because the gates and the doorways is the striped shadow here. That's the gate and the doorways to the afterlife. That when the deceased die in the mortal world, they go up through the striped shadow here, and then they have to find the golden star in the Milky Way center inside duat. Or if they go, if they manage the weighing of the heart and the feather in the duat, they go to the field of reeds in Osiris's temple. And the striped shadow here is also the field of reeds along the river Nile. So, but that's for another story. And throughout the pyramid texts, Seba is used as a designation for the celestial body in the bald sky. Bald sky, it's very You must read that very literally. um, the bald sky, or the northern sky, where the pharaoh travels in the solar boat. So let's see what all that means. Let me make the star again here, so we have something to hang on. First of all, the bald sky in the heaven is the bald sky here. This is also the skull cap, and so on. So this is the bald sky where the star is. And then, in the translations of the pyramid text and other ancient Egyptian texts, they always use the term northern sky, which is a misinterpretation of the upper sky, the Milky Way center, And let me see here, I think, the reason why they use northern sky, or try to translate it to northern sky, is to back up the narrative that the Seba Star is the star's circulation around the North Star. The Earth is turning around, and then you got a bunch of stars around the North Star who never moves. So they try to build a narrative that's the star, that's the Seba stars up there, but it isn't. So yeah. And here the Seba star serving as a map or a guide for the deceased to navigate the duat, the underworld, and find their place in heaven. Okay. And we know all the deceased is visualized by the striped shadow here. They are, in a choir. They stand in the row to get into heaven, so to speak. And to find their right spot, they need a star, like the star over Bethlehem, so they can find the final spot. So the Seba star is actually not a symbol for the disc itself. It's a roadmap, it's the star showing the way. They have to go after this star. So of course they just have to follow the line and find the star here. Seba in the pyramid text represents the word for star, and actually it's star god. But the experts really, really like the star to represent star, because then it fits into the narrative of the Egyptologists, and the academias. But let's see, I don't think they are spot on here. But in the pyramid text, it represents the word for star, or star god, acting as a beacon for the souls. Okay, so a beacon, a light tower lighting out there so the souls can find the spot. And in every single ancient mythology, if you hear about a beacon or a light tower, it's always the Milky Way center, because it's the light tower in heaven. And here you got the bulb, and here you got the light from the light tower, guiding the souls. And it's also used in esoteric and divine teachings, to find wisdom, or find spirit, or enlightenment. So go after the light tower. And it's always placed, on an island. Let me see if I can draw it here. An island in the water. And the water is, of course, this area surrounding the light tower. So that's why they use the word beacon in the ancient texts, because that's exactly what it is. All right, let me see what we else got here. Then we got the Seba duet symbol. It's the star here, if you look at the picture in the corner, and it's encircled like this. So now it got a new definition. When the 5-pointed Seba is enclosed within a circle, it represents the Seba duet, which refers specifically to the place of the star of the underworld, or more generally, the celestial realm of the dead. So when the Seba Star is encircled, it represents the place. You are here. That's it. And the ring around the Seba Star is, of course, the ring in the Milky Way center, which point out the duet, or the end of duet, the afterlife, where you're supposed to be. Of course, here in the golden light, the spirit light in the Milky Way center. So that's the ring, which is also the disk inside the star. And then Seba is also the star within the goddess Nod. And let me explain here. Nod is it's a female bending over the entire heaven and earth. And let me draw her for you. She is standing here, and her hands somewhere here. This is not the mother leaning over the heavens here, and the earth here. The striped shadow is always the earth. So but here we got her, and she is always or often filled up with the stars of Seba. I'll make a couple of them here, so just to display. And the reason is, the Egyptians were not talking about the average stars in the heaven. They were only talking about the star, or the stars within her, or in her realm here. So, and that's because it's, of course, the golden disk here. And that's also the reason why they painted them gold or yellow, because that's the only yellow color in the entire Milky Way. So here you got it. You can go see my Nut video. It's up there. Okay, and what else do we got here? Yeah. And then there's a lot of theories about the Seba Star is also used to star charts, or the star tables, measuring, like a calendar. And from my perspective, the Seba Star has no connection at all to any constellations in the sky. Not at all. It's again, from my perspective, narrative, an old narrative which have been established by the academia guys. But it's up to you. You decide. I just tell my version of the story here. But let's see. I think the charts found in the tombs and temples are charts for the placement of the disk, or other aspects of the Milky Way center. So they, when they read, they always or often write this chart on the underside of the lid of the coffin. And funny enough, not here, is also the lid of the coffin. And what do we have on the underside of the coffin? We got the glowing disc, the spirit light. And when you see those charts and tables, sorry, you know, they use all aspects of the Milky Way center, and then they just, I don't know, I can't figure out. I'm not a mathematician, you know, and I don't understand it quite. But it looks like they are just try to map the disc or some other aspects. Maybe the striped shadow here, and definitely the female shadow, the silvery shadow. Let me line her up here, standing here. Something like this, you know, which is the guiding, you know, which is guiding the souls into the afterlife. Okay. Yeah, and apropos, let me clean the board here. I was just talking about the lady, and then I got some notes here, because a great example is Egypt goddess Subdet, wearing the Seba Star on her head, who is commonly believed to be the star Sirius, but more likely is the silvery shadow with the female posture, you know, with the golden disc or guiding star, the roadmap on her head, in her role as guiding the death pharaohs to the afterlife. And let me just outline her again here, because I think there can be no doubt. Here we got Subdet standing with her crossed legs, and on the top of her head she got the star. And now I'll make the 5. So the 5 aspects of the soul here. So, you know, and she's guiding all the souls here into the light, so to speak. I don't think this can be misinterpreted. I think that's right on the spot. And honestly, regarding the Egyptian divine concepts, I don't think they weren't particularly interested in the night sky beyond the Milky Way center. That was something that got serious in the Ptolemy era, in the final dynasty in ancient Egypt, where we also see the Dendera zodiac tab or the roof, and where we see, you know, the constellation is they start to put them into a system, real systems. Of course, they saw the stars, but I think they were very concentrated on the Milky Way center. Everything points in that direction. So, to be honest, I think they will give it about the stars for their divine concepts. And as always, I will leave it up to you. But I'm pretty sure that's the fact in this case. Okay, that's all I got for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And until my next video, take care. Bye.